Hi, I'm Danielle, and this is Chatter Out Loud, a podcast where I share thoughts and TV commentary on shows I like to watch. Now, before I start, I want to ask that you go ahead and like, follow, share, and subscribe. And on YouTube, where I upload my companion episode of my podcast, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way you can get a notification every time I post a new episode, and you won't miss out. So welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Your presence is very much appreciated. All right, the ultimate game of social media where someone will play themselves or as someone else. Anyone can be anyone. The game is about online popularity and it's called The Circle. And this year they promise lots of twists and turns. All right, The Circle season 4. By the way, if you haven't already, I have a cast reveal. My last The Circle episode, I talk about the cast in depth and give a little bit more detail. And I wasn't going to do that in episode 1 and repeat the same thing. And a lot of what we saw in episode 1 kind of overlaps with the cast reveal. So I'll pull out a few things that I may have talked about before. But if you want to know more detail about the cast, be sure to listen to the cast reveal. Okay. All right. So on day 1, the house guests are moving into their apartments. So I'm going to share a few observations. All right. So Frank, he was the first one we saw move in, and he came in screaming, "I am here." He is very body confident. He describes himself as a big boy with a big personality. He plans to use his Southern charm and his therapy skills in the game. And he says he also knows how to throw shade. Right? He is 28 years old, and he screamed throughout this whole episode. He screamed about setting up his profile. He screamed about getting in the house. He screamed about the alert. I mean, all episode long, Frank is screaming. So he seems like he's going to be a lot of fun. Then we see Yu Ling. We don't see her walking into the home, but the first thing we see is her hoisting herself up on the counter for her spices. She is a Chinese American immigrant. She also says that she lives and breathes social media. And every time someone says that, they kind of are implying that they're going to do well at this game. And we'll have to see, right? Yu Ling is 25 and she's a brand marketing consultant. She seems like she's going to be a lot of fun. So she has a lot of personality, and we'll see. In fact, like on her profile picture, she used, on her second photo of her online profile, she is using a photo of her trying to eat a corn stool. The corn stool is about as big as she is. So she selected that one because she wants to show her personality. So we'll see. For the house guests that catfish, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to... I think I'm going to say their names by saying the person's name and then who they're catfishing or going in the game as, right? So I'll say both names. And as an example, we have John, who is playing the game as Carol, right? So I'm going to say John Carroll. All right. He filled out his profile to include the love of dancing and dogs. I think that's what he thinks his mom does, or maybe that's what his mom does. And he talked about red sauce. Let me see. John is 24 and he's from New Jersey, and you can hear the accent. All right, Alyssa, she has this vulva pillow. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. She's an assistant to a sex coach. But I don't know. She's making this vulva pillow a thing, and I don't know why, but it's okay. She says if she can get people to tell her about their sex drive, right? That's in her occupation. She can get people to tell her about their sex drive. She'll be able to get people to tell her about their excellent. What did I write here? Hold on. She says if she can get people to tell them about her sex drive, she'll be able to get the house guests to tell her about their excellent, or, you know, how excellent, and be able to talk about their sex lives. She'll be able to do that. I think, I don't know, maybe spell check took over here. I was thinking I may have meant to type. I have no idea. I know she was talking about if she can get people to tell her confidential things, she'll be able to play the game better. I guess that was the point. All right. After the first 4 house guests moved in and they began to get settled, an alert appeared on the screen and they joined the circle chat, right? This is their first circle chat with just the first 4 house guests. Out of all of the messages, I thought John Carroll was the first to connect with the other 3 house guests, and he did that very well. It's a good start for him. I think his strategy that he's trying to play right now is shaping up or will shape up. He's already seeing Alyssa as an ally. He wants to form an alliance with her with that Italian connection. They're both Italian. And he already has the people doing hashtag Mama Carol. He already has that going. So his start to the game is going on pretty well. Another observation, again, Alyssa with the vulva pillow. I knew she was going to try to make this a thing. But it's not winning me over. She talks to it. She talks about nerve endings. Like maybe she's trying to educate us at the same time of playing the game. Maybe that's the point. I'm not sure. But anyway, Alyssa thinks that Carol is like her own mom, and she seems like she is ready to play the game with her vulva pillow. All right, they played the first game, which is meant for them to learn about each other. There were questions that were asked, and they put a thumbs up or thumbs down. Parker Paul, their performance is Parker. She's 21. She's playing her dad, Paul, who is 56. Their performance in the game became suspicious to a lot of people. And this is an example of when they asked what the title of their what is happening today. An example of what made people suspicious is that a question was asked about the title of their memoir, right? What would be the title of your memoir? And Parker didn't know what a memoir was. Now remember, she's playing a 56-year-old man. And people right away is like, what? Paul doesn't know what a memoir is? And it just was it was horrible. I don't think she's fooling many people. And we'll talk about that as the episodes progress. All right. Not only that, a few of her answers just did not align with a 56-year-old man or a 56-year-old period, right? They were talking about have you ever skipped work or something like that? And he put no, Parker Paul put no. And people like, what? I don't believe that. You always call off. If you've ever worked, you would always call into work for no reason or something to that effect. Anyway, after the game, they were asked to rate the players, and in the circle, this is how you advance in the game. The house guests that are ranked first and second will be the influencer for that episode, or excuse me, that week. Yeah, I don't know what the cycle is, but they'll be the influencer for that week, and they'll get to select a house guest to block. And then once you're blocked, your game is over, right? In the first rating, it's no surprise that Parker Paul came in last. Both Frank and John Carroll ranked first and second, respectively. And Frank was so happy he was first. He screamed. And with him, or this year, they have a new twist where Frank, being the first, he got to select one of the 2 new profiles of players that will enter the game. One of the 2 will enter the game, and he was going to select which one of the 2. And I chuckled when they showed both profile pics, because when he saw Trey's, he said, well, all right. Anyway, that was funny to me. So this is episode 1. So what I like to say is that Frank had to choose the profile of the new player, and they end the episode showing us Scary and Baby Spice walking down the hall, and they're about to enter the game. And as we move on into episode 2, I'll explain that along with their part in the game and how Frank selecting one of the 2 new profiles, how all of that ties together. So I'll explain that in the upcoming episode. So far, I think I like Frank. I really like how strategic John Carroll are playing. When he called a chat with the other girls, this is John Carroll I'm talking about, and they began to talk about lady parts, he didn't shy away from it. I mean, he used his head, he stayed engaged in the conversation, where they're actually believing that John is Carol, right? I mean, they're already doing the hashtag Mama Carol. So I'm interested to see how John Carroll keeps this up. I'm not too impressed by Parker Paul, although I didn't expect a lot. The girl is 21 playing a 56-year-old. That's a huge stretch. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think she's doing well. Also, we'll learn more about the others, and I'll be back to share more, right? We're going to learn more about Mel B and Emma, a.k.a. Spicy and Baby Spice Girls. Wait, they're the Spice Girls, and it's Mel B and Emma, and then Mel B was Spicy. Yeah, no, Scary Spice. That's what it is. Mel B was Scary Spice, and Emma was Baby Spice. All right. Anyway, we'll learn more about all of the house guests and this new twist. Okay. So you have to leave me a comment and let me know how you think the game is going so far. Let me know about the two people that are playing the catfish players, right? How do you think they're doing? John Carroll and then Parker Paul. So let me know in the comment. All right, and that's all I have. So be sure to come back and give me a listen. I'd love for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Thank you very much. My name is Danielle, and you're listening to my podcast, Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.